Hello, friends, frogs, and happy people. How's everybody doing this Tuesday, January the 6th? I'm doing well. I woke up kind of cold. Not what I was expecting, but I did. I woke up cold. And, it's just a normal Tuesday for me. Today is actually my, late sister's birthday, so I'm celebrating her today. Her name was Ashley. She died, in 2019 from metastatic, breast cancer. And I'm really missing her today, knowing it's her birthday. But anyway, enough of that. I have another, January 6th, I have another lesson for you today. It says who, where, who, what, and why. A person who doesn't know what the universe is doesn't know where they are. A person who doesn't know their purpose in life doesn't know who they are or what the universe is. A person who doesn't know any one of these things doesn't know why they are here. So what to make of people who seek or avoid the praise of those who have no knowledge of where or who they are? And that was from Marcus Aurelius in his meditations. And then the caption below it says, late comedian Mitch Hedberg, which was my youngest daughter's favorite at one time, had a funny story he told in his act. Sitting down for an on-air interview, a radio DJ asked him, "So who are you?" In that moment, he had to think, is this guy really deep, or did I drive to the wrong station? How often are we asked a simple question like, who are you? Or what do you do? Or where are you from? Considering the superficial question, if we even consider it at all, we don't bother with it more than a superficial answer. But gun to their head, most people couldn't give much in the way of a substantive answer. Could you? Have you taken the time to get clarity about who you are and what you stand for? Or are you too busy chasing unimportant things, mimicking the wrong influences, and following disappointing or unfulfilling or non-existing paths? I think that was a very crucial article to read. It says a lot about you have to know who you are. You have to know what you stand for, what you are about. And if you can't answer that, why not? If somebody was to ask me who I am, I think I would say that I was a very kind and compassionate and understanding person that I just want to live. I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to feel loved in this world while they are here. And I really am. I'm a hard worker. I don't take working lightly. I'm proud of my home. I'm proud of my family. I'm proud of my grandchildren. I have 3 of them, by the way. I usually say 2, but I have 3. I want people to know that's what I stand for. I stand for the compassion, and I stand for the understanding, and I'm just a people person without being a people person. I don't want to go out and work in front of people. I don't want to do retail anymore. I don't want to do that kind of thing, but I do want to. I like this kind of one-on-one situation where I'm sitting here and I'm talking and people can listen to what I have to say. And I don't have, the one thing that irritates me is manners. Like a lot of people, if I'm talking, especially my husband, especially, people that I don't know, if I'm talking, the first thing they're going to do is interrupt. And I'm like, why am I taking the time to interrupt? I'm not going to interrupt you. I don't come into your conversations. I kind of just lay in the back when Mark is around, like when we have company meetings and things like that, company events and things. I just kind of hang in the background and kind of just don't worry about people, because what they're talking about is none of my business. It's about the business. And it just makes me mad that if I'm to say something, my husband included, the first thing they're going to do is just interrupt me. And I'm like, what am I not talking right? That annoys me. I'm like, Why are you interrupting me? What I have to say is just as important as what you have to say. But that is just the norm. Lately, people are all about interrupting situations. So find out who you are. Take that inventory. Figure out. Even write it down. Having a journal is one of the... they praise this a lot, especially in therapy. If you dare to go to therapy, if that is what you want to do, they talk about journaling and writing down your feelings. And it's also a very concrete, in your handwriting, in ink, concrete, that way. Your own words of what you feel, and you can go back and be like, there are sometimes I journaled and I was like, when did I write that? Because that is powerful, and I did not know I could feel that low. I don't even remember writing it, people. I just wrote it. And I can't even remember what was I feeling, what was I going through. I can't remember the situation that even made me write the situation, the story down, but I wrote it. I was ill about things, and it was powerful what I felt. And so that's the thing. You can even date it. It's best to date it so you can figure out what you were thinking at the time. Journaling is very powerful, and some days you may write just a paragraph. Hey, today, don't take the lazy way out. Just don't do it. Write what you feel. Today I feel invisible. Today I feel, this Tuesday, January the 6th, I feel, I feel like I'm being looked over. I feel like, put initials if you don't want to put names down. Put something that is going to hint towards what you're feeling and what you're doing. Just that way you don't interrupt somebody else's privacy or anything of that nature. Only you should be able to read that journal. So if you want to write names, my coworker Stacy blah 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 at work makes me feel so invisible. But and then try to figure out why you are letting her make you feel invisible. Figure it out. Writing is nobody writes anymore. Everything is so digital, and it's on the computer, and it's like, even type it if you must, but that natural artistry in writing is not there anymore. Nobody is into it. Everybody wants to type everything out. And I don't write well. I write like chicken scratch. So, but I love to write. I love to sit down with my pen and paper. Even though I can't read it in a little bit, when I'm finished with it, I still love to write. Because that is in itself an art. Nobody does that anymore. Within 10, 15 years, all of writing seems to feel like it's just going to be obsolete. And that's the talent that we all have worked for all our lives. We've gone to school, we've learned how to write in cursive, learned how to do this. And it kind of bothers me that we're in an age where that's not even going to be considered an art. It's going to be considered, something of the past. So there's that. But if you write down who you are, what you want, and you make sure don't tell people word for word what you're writing or whatever, but at least know what you are before somebody even asks you what you are. Find out what the universe wants from you. Figure out what you stand for. Figure out what you believe in, and write it all down. Just to have that as a basis to go from when somebody asks, who are you? What do you do? What I do, I do everything. What do you want me to do? I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I clean the house. I do everything. I crochet. I write. I read. I have a podcast. I don't tell a whole lot of people I have a podcast, though. Or a video, a YouTube account. I don't tell people, many people. I tell my church people. Because I think what I'm doing is, I believe in what I'm doing. I'm not even saying that. I just feel like everybody else would judge me for it. My kids know I do it, and my kids are very proud of me for doing it. My grandchild knows I do it, and he's very proud of me for it. But I'm not going to go tell him, hey, I have this podcast. You ought to go listen to it. Or this video, or this YouTube account. No, I'm not going to go tell my brother. Just something else for him to make fun of me for. I had another thought and I cannot. I had another thought entirely. And it went, psh. Do you ever get that? You have a thought and you're like, that light bulb's there, and then it just slowly, psh. Yeah. I hate when I do that. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna make it. No, I've never done drugs in my life. Never ever. I was never a drinker. I drank probably when I was 15, 14. And then I drank again when I was 18. But it wasn't like I wouldn't allow myself to become an addict. And I didn't like how I felt afterwards. So I've only been a drinker a few times. So, but by and by, I haven't drunk in years. I haven't, no. I had a wine one time, or champagne or something my daughter had. My oldest daughter had here, and I had a few drinks of it, and I liked it, and but I had no effects of it. And after that, I was like, no, we're not gonna drink. We're not gonna get in that habit. I don't want to do that. No, I've never done a drug in my life. Never ever. Just not something I wanted to do. Just not something I had thought about doing. Just not curious, not nothing. So all the silliness that you see, all the forgetfulness, it's just natural. It happens when a person I do take medicine. So that's my excuse. I can't go any further than that. Oh my goodness. I'm going to think about it. I really am. And then after I've already recorded, I'm going to think about it. I'm like, oh, should I record more than just these, if I have a thought, should I come back and record later? I don't know. Maybe I should take a piece of paper around with me. Here I am talking about writing things down. Maybe I should take a notebook with me around and start writing down stuff in case I need to think about it. A lot of the times when I record, I'm just like, okay, I just want to get up and go get busy afterwards. But I really want to help people decide not to be sad anymore. I know that sounds kind of, I don't believe we're not made to be sad. I don't think we are. And I don't think it's right that we are. And I think that was one of the factors in the reasons that I kind of just refused to be sad anymore. I don't think we were made to be sad. I don't think God would have done that to us. Again, if he had wanted us to be sad, he'd put us in Adam and Eve. He'd put them in a world where they would have to fight, where nothing was paradise. And I just feel like if he wanted us to suffer, he would have made it to where we did. But that's not how we were officially put on this earth. I do remember watching like people at school, seeing how they carried themselves, how they behaved, how they could be themselves. I think I was kind of like in a depressed state as a child, but I didn't want to. It didn't come out until after I got married. I think in my teens, there were a couple of times where I was frustrated. I got very frustrated, very angry, and I shouldn't have. But it didn't come to fold until after I got married, and that was, I think that's a bizarre time to realize that you're sad is like right after you get married, 2 or 3 years after you get married. But we're not picking it apart. I'm not gonna go there again. You're in Cassie's Corner. I'm Cassie. This is my corner, my little corner of YouTube. This is where I try to dissect or give advice, give you an idea of what happened to me when I was depressed. I laid in bed. I got my kids to school. I went back and laid in bed until 11 or 12 o'clock. I just did not feel like being awake. And then I would get up around 12 o'clock after they went to school. got up about 12. I'd start cleaning the house, acting like I'd been doing things in the house all day. And then I'd cook dinner after they come home. I'd help them with their homework, or sometimes I would just want to be by myself, even if they were in the house. It wasn't fair, but it was how it happened. So that went on for about, I want to say about 10 years. That happened for a long, long time. It seemed to, and there was never a day where I woke up and was like, oh, it's a beautiful day. Never. I never woke up like that. I'm like, oh my God, I have to be awake again. I don't want to. I don't want to get up out of bed. And now I'm just fine. I'm perfect. This morning I didn't want to get up, but I had been awake all night with my fluffy little mop dog. Odie, she wanted to go out, and she wanted to scratch, and she wanted to do this, and she wanted to do that, and she kept me awake most of the night. So today I didn't get up till about 10. But it wasn't because I was feeling sad or anything. I was really tired. So I know what depression does. I know how dark I can get. I know how dark people can get, and I don't want to see I don't want to know that another person is on the verge of committing the S word. I have, that has happened throughout my whole life. Even as a kid, I know I had a cousin that had committed the S word. I grew up with that knowledge, and then later, a cousin of mine had done the same thing. I knew a guy through Facebook from Connecticut that had done the same thing. There was a kid that lived here with us for a while that was my son's best friend. He committed the S word when he was like he was 30. He was 30. So it's surrounded me my whole life, and I understand why. I do understand how dark it gets, but I don't. I think we as people need to do more than just call a hotline. You know what I mean? That's kind of cold. You're in trouble. You're thinking about the S word. Call a hotline. 9 times out of 10, if people want to commit the S word, they're not going to call that hotline because they know they can be talked out of it. Nobody is going to call a hotline. Somebody, another person, it should be like alcoholism. Okay, in alcoholism, you've chosen a sponsor. And the sponsor is supposed to be there with you. It is on call and talks to you about the dangers of alcoholism and why you should, talks you out of it. I think we should develop a system like that for people who are prone to suicide. It's not going to be easy for any of us, but I think we should have sponsors instead of just call a hotline. If I want to call a hotline, I mean, I'm going to call something to I feel like that's something to complain about, like a Walmart hotline or a Home Depot hotline. I don't think that you should call a hotline to help save your soul. You need to have someone close to you. You need to have somebody near you that knows you and that knows how you feel and know what your triggers are and knows what to say without coming up with these triggers. There's no reason why we as a people should just keep letting other people damage themselves. And I realize, well, that's what they want to do. But it's like, I've never ever in my life heard anybody explain it the way that the guy on, oh my gosh, Red. It's a show. It's a TV show. Him and his daughter. I can't think of it. It's like my life. I can't think of it. But he equated the S word to a person with a bomb on, that, it affects the person mostly with the bomb on, but affects everybody around them within a certain mile radius. And I'd never ever heard anybody explain it like that. And that's probably the truest form of what it's like to have somebody commit this work. It's not fair. It's not fair that someone should think so lowly of themselves. And now we're in a society where people will get on the internet and attempt a young person to do that thing. I mean, you're pretty much just telling somebody to do away with themselves and for your purpose. I think that's criminal. I do think that people should go to jail for that certain thing. I would never tell somebody they don't belong here. They belong here just as much as I do. Sometimes I think I don't belong here, but I would never ever hurt myself. Never ever. I would always think, what would it be like if I disappeared? But it would never be like, I'm a chicken. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to suffer. Other than that, I just don't want my children to have to wake up one day and ask questions about why they're not enough for me to be here. You know. I mean, because people do take that to heart. When my cousin died, in 1997, I think 1996. We played as kids. I'm like, was there something I could have said? I mean, I took it so personal when he did that. You know, what could I have said? What could I have done? What could I have? And it wasn't a me problem. It was a him problem. But I just wondered, what could I have done to fix it? What could I have done to fix him? What is so wrong with the world that he didn't want to be here anymore? I mean, there's a lot wrong with the world. There's a lot wrong with the world, but I would never want to, do that kind of thing. But anyway, on a lighter note, I love everybody. I do. I appreciate my viewers. I appreciate if you click the like and subscribe and anything of that kind of nature. Kind of let YouTube know. I love your comments for me. They're mine. And I need to know what it is that you like to hear, what it is that you like to see, what your problems are. Even have an email. I have Jake right here who wants to say hey. He's trying to say hey. I even have an email. It's Cassie's _corner at outlook.com. And you can email me there person to person, and I will read your emails and I will try to answer them in case you need privacy, because some things are just not meant to be said in a chat forum. Some things are just private, and it would please me if you just trusted me enough to know that I would never break your confidence at all. So I'm here for you guys, personally on a personal level. But I just wanted to create this channel to let everyone know that there is victory in sadness. There is a way that you can come out of the slump. There is a way, there is a method to it. You just got to make up your mind that you don't want to be sad anymore. You don't want these negative thoughts. You don't want to wake up every day exhausted just for being there. Trust me, I know what that's like. I do know what that's like. I don't want you questioning, why am I here? What is my purpose? What is my purpose is to help people. It is to help. It's not just for me. This video is not just for me. It is for everybody. It is for anyone who has ever thought so much negative about themselves. It is not right that we go around and we don't have the confidence. I don't have a lot of confidence. I'll tell you that right up front. And that's just me. That has always been me. I don't have a lot of confidence. But I'm not going to walk around and be like, oh, I'm not confident. I'm confident in the way that I know I'm healed from. And it could be even temporary. It could be also like alcoholism. I'll always be a depressed person, but I have to work so hard to keep my brain focused on the right things. I have children. I have grandchildren. I want to live, and I want to. When I was depressed, I felt like I was already not living. I mean, because I missed out on so much. And I don't want that for you guys. You shouldn't have to miss out on the wonderful things of life. I had a fan the other day tell me that they haven't laughed in so long. How do you not laugh? Laughing is one of the greatest things in the world. Lucille Ball taught me that when I was a kid. Of course, we watched reruns of I Love Lucy from the 50s and the 60s and 70s. And my mom would even call me like the modern day Lucy, the young Lucy, when we were joking around, because I could take things and it could be the most serious thing in the world, but it's going to turn out funny. If it if it has anything to do with me, it's going to be the funniest thing you'll ever have. Having a kid, my oldest daughter, I had her. That whole situation was the funniest because I kept telling the nurse that I was having her. And I mean, I had her in 30 minutes and everybody thought I was going to be there about 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. I've never taken 8 hours to have a kid. They always come 7 hours or less. So even like my youngest daughter, I told the doctor, I was like, I'm going to have her. I'm in pain. This isn't normal pain. I shouldn't be having this kind of pain. I'm going to have her. And I told him, I'm like, either you take her or I'm going to have her wherever I have her. And that's going to be on you, but I'd rather you take her. I think it's time you take her. So he eventually agreed to taking her, inducing labor and having me set up for even her, even though she was induced, I had her in 4 hours. I don't understand. A woman knows her body, and doctors are like, oh no, just sit back. You're going to be here a while. No, absolutely not. I don't deal with pain that well. That thing is coming out. That pain is going to stop soon. So that's my thinking. Well, I should go. I should probably get off here and pay some attention to Jake and Odie. You heard Odie barking. My daughter was coming in the house. And I will see y'all next time. I have a really good, it's 7 clear functions of the mind is what we're doing for tomorrow. January the 7th. It will be Wednesday. It's lovely. I love this message. But remember to take account of who you are. Figure out what you want. Even write it down on paper. Don't just leave your thoughts out there, drifting in the wind and not knowing what you were thinking about. Try to make an account. Make sure you make that journal. If you're not the journaling, writing type, I understand. Type it out. Just make some kind of black and white version of what your thoughts are, so that way you know how to come back to it and be like, oh, that's changed, or ooh, when did I think that, or what am I going to do to fix this? What am I going to do to correct this? So that's very important. Very important. I do hope y'all have an awesome day. I do hope that wherever you are, you're enjoying your weather, you're enjoying your work day, you're enjoying your family life. You find someone to be appreciative about, whether it be a maid, a janitor, whether it be the people who come and service your equipment at work, whoever it will be, the people who work in the cafeterias if you have one, the people that deliver your lunch. Make sure you're appreciative of someone, because that lets me know that you know that it is important to say thank you, that you know that everybody has a role to play, and that you are grateful for every role that is played, not just you. You have to be grateful for someone else. I hope you find that great big belly laugh. I hope tell people you love them. Tell people you appreciate them. Jake, I love you. I'm tired of petting you, though. You're getting on my nerves. And I will see y'all sometime tomorrow. Hopefully earlier. At least it's not 3 o'clock. It's not 3 o'clock. I'm recording. And I made sure that the time had passed. I did do that. I made sure my time had passed so that when my clock announced it, I wouldn't be recording. So you didn't get to know what time I'm doing this. Y'all have a great day, and I will see y'all soon. And thanks for being here. Leave me a like, a comment, anything of that nature to let me know that you are interacting. That this video has, I know sometimes I just ramble and it's not nice, but I do appreciate comments, and I do appreciate you subscribing or liking my video. It means a lot to me. It lets me know that I'm on the right path. I do appreciate all the comments. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for hanging in there with me, and I will get more professional eventually. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.